what I meant by with Shauna working with a PDF and an AI, etc., is when you have a PDF that you want to, let's say, pluck a logo out of, for example. I have this brochure right here, which is from the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra. I found this for Peter the other day. It's a project I worked on a few years ago. So I know that this is their logo right here is a vector file. So what I want to do is I want to open that PDF into Illustrator. So what I want to do is I want to just grab that file that I have on my desktop right here, and I drag it into my icon right here for Adobe Illustrator, and it shows me which page I want to select, right? So I can select which page I want, the very last page. In my case right here, I want to have the very first page. I want the logo in black, for example. So I make sure that I have, my page number right here, and I click OK, and it opens it up in Illustrator right here. It's telling me that I'm missing a font because I don't have it installed, because right now it's like a regular Illustrator file. So it's looking for the fonts, etc., etc. So if I switch back and forth between in my my view right here, if I switch back in my outline, and then I see that the whole image right there is, it's blank, so it's, it's an image, it's an actual photograph. But the rest of it is the text is right there, and it's live, right? So I can move things around if I want to. I can, there you go. I can select my my type. I can call it, whatever, right? And I can switch back to my preview right here, and I made a change, right? The thing is, I want to have that. I want to steal that logo right here, the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra, because I need it for a project, for example, as an example. So I go into my my outline right there, and then I see that the logo is right there, and you see the frame around it. By default it's in a clipping mask, because it's been assembled in InDesign. And when you open the PDF directly into Illustrator, you get basically a frame around all your images and all your graphics, etc. And it's basically like a clipping mask. So what I want to do is I want to go into with my direct selection tool. I want to select one corner and just delete it a couple times. And now I have access to just that. So I can go with my direct selection tool, because why I'm going with the direct selection tool, because it might be grouped, right? So if I click on the logo here, oh, it's not. Okay, I thought this would be attached to it, but no, it's not. So I can select it just that, right? And I can hit, copy, right? I'm using a shortcut, Command C, and then after that, I can create a new document and then paste it in, and I just have my logo on its own, right? So if I again Command V, there it is, right? So now I can copy that. I'm having problems with my Illustrator lately. If I can try to make a new document, it's not going to work. It just hangs and doesn't do anything for a while. So I need to quit it. So I'm not going to demonstrate that. But the idea was to copy paste something from a file that already exists. And you can see this file originally had all the crop marks and all the color bar and and the stuff in the slug, right? Remember the slug? And then you have your file name, etc., etc. But when you open the actual PDF, which is right here, if you actually open that in Acrobat, you don't see it, meaning it's been cropped in Acrobat, right? And the file was reduced. But all the stuff on the outside in the actual original root of the document still exists. It's not visible in Acrobat, but it's visible when you open it up in Illustrator directly. So this is why it's a bit strange. So I deleted an element, and that deleted the whole background image. I still have the text there, but my background image is already deleted. So I don't have to say that. So as another example, I have another brochure right here, which is the Auckland Philharmonic Orchestra as well, which is beautifully designed. And if I drop that in, again, you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing in Photoshop. You can drop it in Photoshop and then open it up in Photoshop. So here, I want to try to open there's a logo on the front cover, so I want to open that up. Just the first page. But the first page, however, as soon as I switch over to outline right here, there's no graphic whatsoever. And that tells me that this whole cover right here was designed in Photoshop and assembled in Photoshop. Because there's so many layers and so many things going on, which is absolutely lovely. But that graphic right here is, and you can tell as you zoom in, you can see the pixelization of the logo. So this is all done in Photoshop, unfortunately. So I cannot pluck that logo out, unfortunately. So I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to close that one. Don't save. I'm going to try it again. And as an example, the second last page has a page with all the sponsors logos. So let's see if it's available from here. Oh, whoops, I forgot to, oh, sorry, yeah, my bad. I forgot to specify which page I wanted. See, I demonstrate something and I forget. So my second last page is page 63. And it's 63. And open that up. And then when I see, so it tells me that I'm missing all those fonts, where I can just, and that's why it's highlighted in pink, and I can ignore that. And I can switch over to my outline preview. And oh my goodness, there's a lot of logos that are not vector in this thing. So all the ones that you see something, such as the Porter Trust right up here. So this is a vector file, but all the others have just little frames like this. These are, I suppose, JPEGs or TIFFs or whatever. And so yeah, so these are actual images versus vector files. Yeah, they are. Right. So this, I still can't steal it. Although it's beautiful, but it is not a vector logo. Those are. They're nice and crisp, even at a really, really small scale. So unfortunately, I can't steal it. Well, it's not stealing, it's borrowing, but you know what I mean. So that's how you open a PDF directly into Illustrator and borrow logos out of them when they are, again, in vector and not placed in as raster files in your document.